Last year we moved to Long Beach for my work.
Specifically the Bluff Park neighborhood. Our new place is a condo 2 blocks from the beach in a building that was built in 1975.
And there's still a lot of 1975 in it when we got it.
So we're updating it, one project at a time. We already got rid of the popcorn ceiling, the paneling in the bedrooms, the vinyl floors in the bathroom, and some really ugly lighting.
But there's still a lot more to do.
So keep watching The Bears in the Bluff.
In the last episode, we measured where the fireplace and the TV were going to go on this wall. We also removed the tile that was in front of the fireplace. So now we're ready to have the contractor come in and do the actual replacement.
This is turning out to be a little bit bigger job than we anticipated. And even with these beams removed, they're having trouble getting it out. End of the first day, we have opening for the firebox. I've drilled a hole up here for the conduit that's going to take the power for the TV. The power will be in here, and all the low voltage goes through a little conduit in here. Now, that package was actually designed to go to the same wall, and we're going to a wall that's 90 degrees opposite. So I'm not sure if we can actually use all the nice hardware that they have to make it look pretty here. I did pull one cord through just to show that we can do it. I'm running all the cables through this channel in here. Now, the channel runs inside the wall, but there's a little 90-degree bend right here to get it out to the wall, to the outside of the wall. The HDMI cables would not make that bend and go down the channel by themselves. However, the coax cable does, so what I'm doing is I'm attaching the coax cable to the cable that I need and then pulling it through that way. Okay, all the cables have been pulled through. I've labeled them all. Now I'm going to go inside the fireplace and tack up the Romex so that the channel that's going through here is it remains away from the flue. And then I will come around and work on the panel over here. So here's the wall above the fireplace, and you see both the high power cable and the channel for all the HDMI cables, etc. I'm using the Romex to keep this away from the flue, and I've tacked the Romex down in a few places to make sure that it doesn't move. And then this is where it goes out to that sidewall that gave me so much trouble. With quite a bit of effort, I actually did manage to get the plate on over here. It's not pretty, but we will eventually have a cabinet here with a hole, so you won't see it looking quite so bad in the finished product. So we've made some progress. We had to have a special adapter to go from the 6-inch flue to the 4-inch flue that's part of the actual fireplace. The drywall has been patched, and we're now waiting for it to dry, and then they'll put the frame back on. And the fireplace is now in. Temporarily, we have our TV and our computer over here. The TV, obviously the newer TV, will be put on the wall over here, and the cables will be coming out over here.
We thought the black TV against the white wall would be a little stark, so we decided to paint part of the wall a blue that we're using elsewhere in the condo.
The TV will be installed up here today. We will then have a glass shelf, and then eventually this area will be covered with stone. but that will wait until we do the floor because we want to put the stone down over the floor. So the TV is now on the wall, and we are connecting it up so that it can also be a monitor for the Mac, which means we'll be able to play movies. So today's project, we're going to mount these two cabinets that we bought to go on either side of the fireplace and TV. This one on the right here, we need to cut a hole so that we can bring the cables from the TV out, which are already coming out through the wall, coming out through into the cabinet. And that way we can hide these components, well, except for the monitor. On the other side, we're just going to put the cabinet up against the wall so that we have a little symmetry between the two. One of the first tasks is going to be to cut a little piece of carpet out here because I'd like to mount the cabinet on the right height. So I've got a little section of floor and the underlayment for the floor that will eventually go through the entire unit. So we'll just put this down temporarily so that we get the right height, put the unit in place and attach it to the wall, and then when we actually do the full floor, we'll take it off, but we'll already have it set to the right height. We're eventually going to put some stone across this part of the wall below the blue line here. So that'll give some visual weight to the fireplace. Because of that, we can't put the cabinet directly up against the wall because we need to allocate the space for the stone, which is going to go this way. So I've temporarily just put two pieces of wood here that will give us our distance from the wall when we go put the cabinet in place. So the first cabinet is in. This is the one we did not have to modify, but you get an idea of what the whole thing will look like. We have measured where the hole is in relation to the back of the wall and the floor. And then we've made that same measurement here on the side of the cabinet, which is going to go up against the wall. And we're going to drill a hole that's the same size as that hole so that the cables can go right through. The cabinet to the right of the fireplace is the one that's going to have the Apple TV, the computer, and all the other components that are going to be driving the TV. So as we've already talked about, we needed a hole here to run the cables from the wall into this cabinet. We also drilled holes in both the fixed and the movable shelves so that we can run cables up and down for each of the components. And we've got a hole at the top and at the bottom so that we can have airflow to keep it from getting a little too hot inside there. So the fireplace is effectively done. I say effectively because we still want to put some stone around here, but that's got to wait for some work that we need to do on the floor. That is the fireplace and TV.